Alrighty, so I press record. So my first question for you is, what are some general guidelines that you think dog owners should follow this upcoming 4th of July?
So first and foremost, what I tell people, um, kind of have a plan for the 4th of July, right? And so there's going to be a lot going on. Obviously, there's the fireworks and things that we think about with it and the sparklers, but there's also usually gatherings with food and beverages and things that are there. So we just have to be prepared and kind of be aware of our surroundings with respect to that and our pets. Some of those foods are going to look pretty tempting, and some of them may get our dogs an upset belly, right? And with all of the fireworks and everything, if your pet doesn't have to go to those where the fireworks will be going off and things, I usually recommend honestly leaving them at home, make sure they're taken care of versus being able to get out there. Some may get nervous with respects to the sounds and the bright lights that are going off. Some it may not be a problem, or they may even think that this is a game that's being played and they may try to chase some of them. So we need to be careful for that. If you know that your pet is anxious around fireworks and parties, be prepared for that as well. And what I mean by that is make sure you have a current picture of your pet on your phone, a good one that if your pet runs off, you have it, that the tags around their collar are up to date. And I recommend that all pets have a microchip and that your information on them for the microchip, wherever that's registered at, is up to date as well. So just in case something would happen, someone would be able to get your pet and reunite it with you.
All right, thank you for that. And then what would you say is the best way or the closest to the best way to keep everything like calm and relaxed? Like if you put your dog in the house or leave them at home, like how should you set up their space?
So setting up their space, if they are reactionary to the fireworks and things, I would try to put them in as quiet of a room as you can, away from the side that the fireworks may be going off from. I would close the blinds, close the windows, making sure that it's still a good temperature in the room for them. And then I would most likely either turn on a radio or a television, maybe a little bit louder than it normally would, to try to drown out some of those sounds that would be happening from the fireworks.
And then I know you said you'd recommend leaving them at home, but if the fireworks are here, what do you feel like is an alternative? Like moving down the street, maybe, or like
If
what
you
would you say
if you
about?
have so if the party's going to be at your house and your pet's used to it, then I think everything will be okay. But you still need to be careful because some of these people that may be coming may not know how to interact with your pet. If there's someone that they could go to your a friend or a family member's house that might be having a quieter evening, that would be an excellent choice as well. But making sure everybody's safe is a big portion of it. If some of it, and I also recommend that probably early on the morning of the 4th of July, if it's a dog, let's get them out for a little bit longer walk or a hike that we normally would have. So they're good and tuckered out when the fireworks comes around or if people are coming to visit. In extreme situations, make sure you talk with your healthcare provider, your veterinary healthcare provider, about is there anything else that can be done? Are there form-fitting shirts that might be needed to help calm our pet? Or if need be, even some medications that would have it. Your veterinarian will have a good team, or your veterinary team will have a good idea of what will work best. They may even have a veterinary behaviorist that they work with that may have some good ideas for you. But I think the pre-planning is, even though we're knocking down the door on July 5th or July 4th, that preparing for it will probably make it go a lot smoother than if we just kind of go by the whims of what happens that day.
Right, right. And then my final question for you is just in general, what is your overall take on just dogs and fireworks? Like, do you feel like it's what number one, what are most dogs like in from what you've experienced, are most dogs like afraid of them, or is it mostly fine? Because like for say for new pet owners, they may not know. So this may be their first 4th of July. So how would you like take that on for first time pet owners?
So I think there's a blend of how these pets are going to react. Now, for us, we know that there's going to be a fireworks going off, so we can prepare ourselves for it. And if the booms and the lights are startling to us, or they're too loud and they're hurting our ears, they're going to do the same thing to our pet. Okay, so we have to take that into account with respects to it. We also have to worry about those dogs that like chasing things, and hopefully they won't go chase the fireworks when they're spinning around on the ground or if they're going up in the air. Got to be very careful for that, so we don't then have to deal with trauma of a burn or something to that effect. And then lastly, these fireworks really need to see, but there's usually some debris that's left over after them. And with that debris, there could be some unburnt gunpowder. There could be some of the other chemicals that make the colors. There could even be some of the wood or things that's associated with it that might still be hot. Those can all be problematic for our pet. So on July 5th, if you have an area you normally take your dog to, make sure that it's clear of that type of debris before we go to it.
Well, that was my last question. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it as well because I have a dog and I've had him for 4 years now, but I still am trying to work on like what can we do with him on 4th of July because he does like have anxiety at times. So I feel like that information was really helpful.
You're very welcome. And if we have information on our website at avma.org, if there's other questions, but I cannot stress enough that if people want to contact their veterinarian, we're getting a lot of calls about this, and it's individual to you and your pet. I think that's a prime example of how they handle it. I got 3 dogs, and one of them's very anxious with thunderstorms and fireworks. And the other 2 couldn't care less.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for that. I definitely will take a look on the website too and recommend that people, talk to their vets
Fantastic. Thank you.
so much.